So with harvest right around the corner, we wanted to give everyone a refresher on important combine applications for a Gen 4 4600 Command Center. And who better to give us that overview than our very own precision ag consultant, Bill Hushon.
Okay, if you would want to go ahead and do any kind of changing on your taskbar down here, you're going to go to menu here, you're going to go to applications here, go to layout manager here. Once it winds up, you've got your default pages, it's your main screen. Then you would hit your shortcut bar, and there's default bar. You would hit the pencil, and then you can add or take off whatever. You hit that, you hit the minus, take it away, or you hit there, and you're going to add from your list of shortcuts over here. So say if we had a customer that's sharing his data, you would hit the sharing button, hit add, then you're going to hit save. X out of all this again. Now you got your sharing button here to share with this two combines. Your menu's down here in the corner. Your setup button is down here. Setup always gives you where your farm field location. Combine is here. Combine settings, there's all your GPS offsets. They're preloaded or you need to load them. You have your header here. That automatic will come in depending on what your header is. I'm sorry, this is the gap for your feeder house length, which gives your offset to your grain head, whether it be a corn head or grain head. Hit save, okay that. Here's where you would change your work summary of what you're doing, whether you're doing corn, maybe you're cutting coffee. This is where you would add your varieties in, whether you were doing bushels, pounds, tons. Obviously, if we're getting ready to harvest, it's all about bushels. So you want to okay that. Down across here, this work auto is going to come on when we're harvesting. Obviously, your auto track button is here. You've got to turn that on. It'll give you a warning here because we have no auto track lines. But when you drive down the road, you've got to make sure you turn that on. And your guidance button there, that actually takes us into where you can work with your auto track adjustments, or you can also set a guidance track here. And obviously in set guidance track, you're going to hit a new track, or if you already have previous tracks, you're going to pick them. But there's all the different model of straight tracks you can pick from. There's your curved tracks, circle tracks. Some of you guys, I doubt, are using boundary fill, but there's a boundary fill. If you got good boundaries, you can use a boundary fill track. So it gives you guidance around the first part of the field. Quick lines is exactly what it says. You can make a quick line, make a guidance line straight. Swap tracks is if you adaptive curves on around the outside and you want to do your straight tracks. There's where you would start that. Combine advisor is just a hot button to get in here to optimize your performance of your combine. Turn Harvest Smart on or optimize all your performances. Current settings, what your chaffer, cylinders, fan, sieve, and concave speed are. Then auto status, turn on and off. Alright, so home pages, there's one here, it's set up with gallons, and there's your harvest settings. There's our automation, which is turned off now. There's your combine settings where you actually touch these and change your speeds, threshing speeds, clearance, all that's all done on this page here. Any one of those you touch, it takes you to that. This is where you would change what your presets are. From, let's say if you're doing wet corn, just change it there and it changes what your preset is. This is what is current, and this is what it recommends over here on this side. It's changing, since we changed it, it's actually resetting it now. As you can see there, it's spinning and changing the concave openings. As we decide now we're gonna do some wet corn. Alright, This is another page that's set up, and this actually tells you what you're doing, area of work, the time you worked, fuel, moisture, wet yield, dry volume for each field, and what the variety is. If you put the input, all that, which all you should do all that prior. Hopefully I missed this, that you'll go in here and do a variety locator. If you hit variety locator, you can actually do a variety locator map, and it'll preload a map here with the different varieties in it. Obviously there, we've got the other settings are down here. We've got a concave settings, cylinder speed. This is fan speed. This is chaffer openings, sieve openings. This is left or right to swing your tailboard. This locks your controls here. This is some presets, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 you can do there. Obviously this is your beacon lights back here, headlights, SMV, fan, air condition, telephone, music, sound, parking button, first and second range, differential lock, low speed four-wheel drive, high speed four-wheel drive, transport lock to lock everything on the inland road, 3 speeds on your engine, this locks all your hydraulic controls. This is real speed. This is your header height up and down. This is your header, and this is the cylinder. Hydro handle here. You got your 3 positions for your head. Emergency stop button. Auger swing. Unloading auger. Turn on. Header raise, lower. Header right, left. Reel up, down, in, out. Auto track button, and you got some buttons here on the back that you can program. Okay, program a joystick. If you, all right, we got to go to menu, and let me see, where is my handle? Control setup here. Then you can actually go through these different buttons. The letter A, and it shows you back here, letter A right now is set up for draper speed. Letter B is set up actually for auto track. Letter C is for fore and aft for the header, tilt. And then D is for, I don't think it has anything in there, but you can actually pick D and actually change it to whatever you might want in there. You can basically remove assignment or take it out, put it back in. That was the header. So then you got fore and aft and draper speed, which we already have. So anyway, you can change all of them through the backside here or through here. It's a different control. Here's where we set up these buttons here, like I said, here on the side. Your 1, 2, and 3 buttons too. All right, up here on the dash panel, you've got KW means your engine load. Ideally, you want to run it up in the top part of the green. Obviously, this is your water temperature here. Fuel level is the next bar over, and then your DEF fluid is the next bar over. The eye with a circle on it means you've got some kind of an issue. Normally, that'll be showed up in your problems. Number 1, that's where your speed of your transmission is. When you change on the dash, that'll change here. Obviously, that's your park button when the park is on or off. Engine speed and mile per hour. 21 that's just a number of your grain loss. So that really is not a constant number. It is a number that you set when you're happy with your grain loss. So when you're happy with your grain loss in the display, you actually hit calibrate for grain loss, and that's what that number is. Over here to the left is the header height. Right here in the center is actually your side to side, showing the combine with the side to side of the header. Down here on the left is your sieve loss. The center one is your actual rotor loss, and then over here on the right is both. I'm sorry, in the middle is a combination of both, and then over here is your tailings loss. Return. Yield calibration, you're going to go into your menu. You're going to go to machine settings here, which is, it defaults to, you're going to go to calibration procedure. And here's one, to do a calibration on yield, you're going to have to hit active. It's got to be turned off. This would be turned on once you get your first calibration done. So you would go down through here and hit yield calibration. Okay, maybe not. Here's moisture calibration here. This is where you would actually go in and ensure what moisture you have at the grain bin, what you've caught out of the tank, make sure it's correct. Mass flow calibration, you need to do that. It's just a vibration thing, so you need to do that. Engine full speed and separator engaged. That needs to be done before you start. There's also a temperature. Moisture sensor temperature. Where the heck is the temperature? Alright, I'm going to scrap that one. There's all your header settings, which you can calibrate in your header. Real position, header, feeder house. So you do all them once you get your header and the equipment hooked up. Okay, if there's a quick button here on the console here, it'll take you to the fold unfold button. So there's where you can unlock the grain bin extensions. Then you can fold or unfold them. Just hold this button. If you have a folding auger, that would be in this same part here also. That's all done down here on this takes you fast to your spinners. It just shows them lowered here. This is where you can set your grain level so that it alerts you correctly when it's 3/4 full or full. Engine speed, where you can read your hours. There's cylinder speed, is just another way to get to your cylinder speed. Here's your header settings. Quick button takes you to that. Video, whatever you have up for videos, you can hook up to 3 videos on the outside here. There's connectors already there. There's all your lights. You can turn them on, turn them off. Air condition, set on where you want it to be directed to, what level. It's pretty hot right now. This is more information, control setup, just a quick way to get in there, and then that basically gives you what you're doing that day as far as work.